Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. It's Friday, so I just thought I'd do a quick update video for you, sort of a recap of how the week has played out with the trades that I'm in, and just sort of show you what happened as the week went on. If you see my video on Monday, you'll see things were looking pretty good. It was actually a great start to the week. Things were looking really good with the Euro Aussie. Had kind of a pretty good sized position built up down here in this area. Down around 162, and we got this really nice strong move towards the beginning of the week, all the way up to test this 164 area, this problematic 164 area, guys. And you know, everything was looking great, which hasn't happened very often recently. It's been you know, I'm sure you've seen from my videos, I've been finding it difficult to trade these markets lately, guys. It's been difficult, you know. It just doesn't suit my style of trading. You know, these markets have been very rangy lately, very emotional. You know, one day it's up, the next day it's down. You get one news story that comes out, the market jumps 100 points, and then quickly, very quickly after that, reverses course all the way back to base camp, you know. And that just really doesn't suit my style of trading. I like to hold positions for a long time, and I like to, you know, once I have a position and once things starting to move sort of in my favor, I like to try and maximize the profitability of that trade. And it's very difficult at the moment because you have to sit through pullbacks if you want to make a trade, you know, profitable. If you want to make the maximum you can off a trade, you have to be willing to sit through pullbacks. That's just part of the game. You know, everybody knows these things don't move in a straight line, so you have to be willing to sit through a pullback. But the problem is, when the markets are so rangy, you know, a pullback can very quickly become a fullback and just reverse all the way back to zero. And you know, as you've probably seen in a couple of my videos already, that's happened to me a couple of times lately. Now, thankfully, I did learn my lesson from last week, guys, and yeah, I managed to take a partial this week and bank some money. So I think that's you know, I'm going to put it down as a good week. Any week at the moment where I'm banking some profits is a good week. So yeah, I think overall towards the end of the week, I'll be willing to say it's been okay. How's your trading been going anyway, guys? I'd be interested to hear some stories down below in the comments. Have you been making money in this market? Are you finding it difficult to trade, or does this market conditions suit your style of trading? And you know, how have you been finding trading around this sort of coronavirus crash, or whatever you want to call it? You know, with the increased volatility, have you learned anything from that? Has it taught you anything, or you know, anything like that? I'd be really interested to hear some stories down below. Maybe we can get a bit of a conversation going. But yeah, and also, guys, it would really help as well if you'd hit the like button if you like the video, and if you want to subscribe as well, that would be brilliant. So yeah, so start of the week anyway, guys. As I said, you watched the video from Monday, you'll see we were sitting on about $500 of running P&L. So, you know, everything was great, happy days. Can't complain. You know, I thought we were gonna, because of the kind of the way in which we moved up here, you know, it was quite strong moves. Like you can see here on the 4-hour chart, you know, that the moving averages, you can see this particular one candle here, which is like a 70 pip candle. We just completely just burst through those moving averages. There wasn't any sort of like, oh, test it, pull back, test it, pull back. You know, it was a very strong move, and we got a retest and then some strong continuation back up. So I let myself believe again that this was finally the move that we were going to get, you know. And as I said, look, you know, last week when I, you know, let the whole trade reverse on me, and I, you know, went from a very profitable position up here to losing money down here. You know, obviously I learned the lesson there that I should have taken a partial. But the other side to that, guys, is that, you know, when you've been sitting patiently waiting on a trade to work out for, you know, sometimes a couple of weeks at a time, you really feel at that point then that you want to maximize your profitability on that trade, you know. And then it becomes difficult sometimes to take a partial, because you don't want to take too much of your position size off, because obviously it's going to reduce your, look, basically it's called getting greedy. But, you know, there are times, I think, in trading where you need to be greedy and you need to try and make as much out of the trade as you can, because there's no point in sitting in a trade for 2 weeks or 3 weeks if you're just going to make a couple of $100s out of it. Now, that's what I made this week, but at the end of the day, I think you have to try and maximize your profitability, and you have to try and sit in the trade for as long as you can to make enough money to make the trade worthwhile. So, in situations like this where you start to see a strong move up, you start to feel like, okay, maybe this time, we've tested this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th or 8th time we've tested this area. We really want to try and see a breakthrough. And I know that once we get a breakthrough this area, we're going to see a strong move to the upside. So it is very, very tempting to try and hold as much as your position as you can to sort of maximize that. But anyway, long story short, I took a partial on Monday night there. Banked about, what did we bank? Let's see, $277.45 out of the trade so far. So, not bad, decent money. $270 on my account. I have a $5,000 account, so you're talking 5.5% banked, which is nothing to be sniffed at. I have managed to keep a little bit of position on it. It's very, very small now. We're down to 0.1. Now, as I said, you want to maximize your position size. You want to maximize your profitability. Why did I reduce my position size so much here this week? Well, the reason why I did that was because, as I explained earlier on in the week, we've got this Euro Recovery Fund sort of meeting that's happening between all of the European leaders this week. It's happening today, actually, and tomorrow. And the outcome of that is going to decide whether or not this 750 billion European coronavirus recovery fund is going to happen or not. And obviously, it's going to be a big driver for the euro. So I knew I was going to get out of this trade by the end of the week. Anyway, I knew I wanted to be kind of out of the euro by Friday because actually, this has been surprising. The euro's been strong all week, guys. You can see here, euro's gone from sort of start of the week, around about the 112.5 mark, all the way up to a test, 114.5. So it was about a 200 pip range this week on the euro, and it's been a strong move. The reason I think is kind of this sort of buy the rumor sort of attitude that you see a lot of the time. But actually, in actual fact, you can see here there's been some sort of negative stories kind of relating to this meeting this weekend. I mean, you can see here just this morning, the Dutch PM said chances of a deal this weekend are less than 50%. So that's not reassuring. And then we have Germany's Angela Merkel this morning as well saying, can't say if we will find a compromise this time. The differences are very big. So not sounding super optimistic about whether this deal is going to get sorted this week. And then, of course, if it does happen that tomorrow the deal gets rejected, we could see some heavy selling on the euro on Monday, especially after such a strong move up this week. So I do want to, clear out my euro position essentially by the end of today, and then we'll reassess on Monday. So yeah, as I said, we took a partial profit, sitting still on a little bit of trade. I'd like to see if maybe we can just get back up to test 164 by the end of the day or whatever, and then we'll just close it out. Only have about $50 in running P&L on this position at the moment. The other position that I'm in is the Kiwi CAD. Short position on Kiwi CAD. It's been okay. It's worked out, sort of. Like I say, at the start of the week, as I said, it was a great position because it was one of the few positions that I've had recently that didn't give me any hassle, in terms that we took a short position up here at 89.5, and we sort of immediately sold off down to test this area down on the 4-hour 100 average, about 100 pips, pretty much pain-free 100 pips down to the downside. We're sitting in a little bit of profit on this trade at the moment. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. I haven't got, it's about 40 quid or so, nothing major. Position size again is relatively small on this. I think I have 0.16 on this one at the moment, but we'll be keeping an eye on this trend line here that's sort of developing across this area here. If we start to move back above that trend line there, then the trade might we might end up seeing a test back up here of the highs before we get sell off, or even maybe higher again. So I'll be very cognizant of what happens with this trend line. I'd like to see maybe a test and then sell it off, and then break down, try to break this area, and then heading for the highs of the previous range around about 88. And then if we break that area, this is the kind of final target I'm looking for on this one, guys. I want to get a move back down to this area here, around about 87, which would be, you know, sort of end of this trade. So, you know, I'm not going to do anything with this trade today. I'll just let it play out. I'll probably hold this one over the weekend. Unless something very, very strange happens, I'll probably end up holding this position over the weekend. I'm not super worried about holding this one over the weekend. It's not really any... well, I better not say it, guys. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to jinx myself. But yeah, I'll probably hold this one. And then, you know, this might be the trade next week that we sort of try to increase our position size on. You know, maybe sell a few pullbacks, try to increase our position size and sort of maximize any sort of profits that we can get if we do get a move down towards 87. In terms of what way today is shaping up, I mean, little bit of risk on, I would say. You can see the VIX is down here pre-market around 2.5%. We're seeing the dollar index down a little bit, 17 cents off the dollar index. Back down, testing this trend line here, big weekly trend line here. If this gets broken, you know, we could be anywhere. It could be free fall for the dollar. So that's one to watch, guys. Be careful of that trend line there. 10-year bonds are down 2%, which is a bit sort of counter to what we're seeing up here. So, you know, the bonds can be a very good indicator, guys, of where the day is going to take you. So down 2% on the bonds, one to watch for the 10-year. S&P is up at the moment, I believe 12 points, so up around nearly 0.4% pre-market. And the Nasdaq up 84 points, nearly 1% up pre-market. So yeah, bit of a mixed sort of bag there. Mostly I would say it's risk on, but just keep an eye on the bonds, guys, for the rest of the day and see how things pan out. In terms of the calendar, nothing special, just got some housing and building permits data from the US later on, and then pretty much nothing then for the rest of the evening. So that'll be the big one today. Obviously going to be paying close attention to these numbers, and I think that's really about it, guys. So I don't know if I'm going to get around to doing a Sunday video this week. I will try my best. I'm going to a party on Saturday night, so it all depends on how I feel on Sunday, whether I can get around to doing a kind of a week ahead video. But I'll try my best to do it. If not, I'll be back on Monday, and we'll be you know, looking at what we're doing for the week ahead on Monday. So guys, have a good weekend. Thanks very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks, bye bye.